Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the all-new, fully redesigned macOS 11 Big Sur. This is Beta 1, and you can see here's the build number, 20A4299V. It's pretty early on, and I'm running it on my 2016 MacBook Pro dual-core i7. You can see the specs here, and it runs okay, but let's take a closer look at it in just a moment. But first, the supported devices are actually pretty good. So you have a 2013 MacBook Air and Mac Pro and newer, as well as the MacBook Pro and newer. So those are all supported, as well as a 2014 Mac Mini and iMac, 2015 MacBook and later, and also 2017 iMac Pro and later if they ever have one. So these are all of the supported devices. Anything that's this age and newer will be able to use Big Sur. So let's take a look at everything that's new. So the first thing is you can notice at the top, there's an all new translucent menu bar at the top. So it shows the wallpaper through. It's pretty nice. I have a lot of different things such as iStat menu here. And then also we have all new icons in the dock. So you may love these, you may not like these very much, but they've completely redesigned them. And if we go to Launchpad, you can see some of the other new icons. So we have Facetime and Messages. Now these could change by the time it comes out, but just keep in mind, these may be what it looks like. Now, if we go over here, we have some additional icons such as Final Cut Pro that will be updated in the future. Apple showed that in the keynote. So you may like these icons, you may not. QuickTime looks kind of interesting. And then also, if we go out of that and go to System Preferences, we have some new icons here as well. So Network, this brings me back to earlier versions of macOS. So there's new icons all throughout. Now, other than the icons, they've updated Notification Center. So you have grouped notifications with widgets as well. So these widgets represent basically what we have on iOS 14 and iPadOS 14, and you can edit the widgets. You'll see that we have a couple different versions here. We've got medium and large. And it is a little bit slow on this Mac, maybe because it's early on, maybe because I'm screen recording as well, but we can make the world clock larger, smaller, all sorts of things. So we can change them, customize them, add them, remove them. Maybe we want daily activity, medium, large, and we've got a bunch of different icons. So maybe I want the forecast to be larger. I can add that, and it adds there. We'll remove this one, and you'll see we have weather. So we've got all those different icons and widgets we can rearrange. We also have notifications that we can easily clear all. So if we just hover over them and there's one, we can dismiss it or clear them all. So it's nice that we've got that built in. Now, a new feature they've added is Control Center. We finally have it on the Mac, and you can see we can adjust the display brightness, the keyboard brightness, we can turn it on or off. We can go back, and maybe we want to customize this and put the keyboard brightness. Let's click and hold. And sometimes it's a little odd to get to work. I guess we can do it with display. We can bring it up at the top, and then we can click on it and gain access to it very quickly. So we can go dark mode, turn it back off. You'll see the wallpaper switched, and there we go, it goes back. So we've got those options up here at the top as well. Now, something new they've added is optimized battery charging. So just like we have that on iPhone, we can go to battery preferences and we have optimized battery charging turned on, but also we have our battery level and screen usage. Now there's a new battery icon that's kind of interesting, but if we go to the last 10 days, you can see this here for usage. If we go to the battery, you've got the battery status and some other things such as optimized battery charging, like I said, so it will wait to finish charging past 80%. And again, you have battery health, just like we have in the latest macOS Catalina update, so you want to leave that on. And then you've got your power adapter and other things, but usage has been updated, so you can see everything like you do on the iPhone or iPad. Now, Finder gets a big update as well. So if we open Finder, it's fully redesigned so that it looks a little bit different. So these are just image files. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And maybe we want to go to movies, and here's just a movie I had that wasn't finished, but you get the idea. It's just redesigned with new icons at the top. Everything's a little bit cleaner with a little bit more space. And some people will really like this, others won't, but you can see it's fully redesigned and just looks a little bit different. Now, Safari gets a huge update, and Apple was actually mentioning this in their keynote, and you'll see here's a bunch of different things here that I have as far as a reading list, and Safari now gives you your favorites on the top. It gives you a privacy report. I'll talk more about that in a moment, but in the bottom right, if we click our options here, we can now set a background image. So maybe we want this as our background image. We can set that. We can turn that off. Maybe we don't want the reading list. Maybe we don't want Siri suggestions, or maybe we just want whatever we want here. iCloud tabs. We can add whatever we'd like to see. So that's built in, and it's super nice. Now, if we go to apple.com, we've got some options here as well. Now, in the upper left next to the address bar, we have a privacy report, and it says this web page did not contact any trackers. So you can get more information about this, and maybe we want to go to another website. We'll just go to Google. We'll go here, and then we'll click on Privacy Report, and it says one tracker prevented, and it will give you a little rundown of what's actually being prevented. Now, you could allow these things if you wanted to, if you don't want private browsing, but it gives you more information about it and gives you sort of a privacy overview of whatever you're doing in Safari. So that's been updated. So that's a pretty huge update. They've also updated speed within Safari. So Safari should be 50% faster than Chrome, according to them, as far as page load times, and it has improved power efficiency as well. We also have an update to tabs. So maybe we want to go to my website here. I haven't updated it in a while, and it's loading pretty slow. Let me do a privacy check, and there should not be trackers on here. Oh, I guess there is. I do have analytics, but that's all there is. There shouldn't really be anything else. And you can see the tab is a little bit different. We can hover over it to get a preview. So if I hover over this, we get a preview of our tab. And then also we can right click and close other tabs, close tabs to the right, move tab to a new window, or arrange tabs by title or website. So we've got all of these new options built in. Now there's a new feature that's on iOS as well that I really think is a great idea. And if we go to a website that's in French, for example, the MacBook knows that English is my native language, or what I've set it up as. If we click this little button here, it appears on a website that's not in English. You can translate this to English or another language. So if I click on it, we can enable translation, and you'll see these are the new pop-up menus in macOS Big Sur. We'll enable translation, and everything becomes English. So it's really easy to just go through, go further in your project. You'll see it's easy just to kind of see what's going on. And this will work on just about any website as far as macOS. So I love that they've added that feature. So Safari gets that massive update with all of those changes. So I'm glad to see they've added that. If I close out Safari, let's go into Mail. And you'll see that they've updated it a little bit. It has all new glyphs and colors. So for example, we're in this email and we just have something from eBay. We'll click on it and you'll see that it's blue and it just looks a little bit different. It has the new consistent menu bar at the top with a little more space. It's very clean and straightforward. So it looks a little bit different. There hasn't been any updates other than that they've mentioned anyway, but hopefully Mail works a little bit better now. Now Photos gets a few little updates. So if we go into Photos, you'll see here's just photos I took of the iPad OS video. I always take a ton of photos. I can pinch to zoom out. I can zoom way out, zoom back in, and just click on a photo down here, and you'll see all the photos I took. They've also added some memories. I haven't seen any yet, but they've added that. And they've also added expanded editing capabilities. iWork is getting an all-new redesign as well, and let's see if they've updated it, because I just installed this update. I don't think it's the latest. I think we'll see something new in the future. So we'll hit continue. We'll select a blank template, and it doesn't really look any different. So I think they're going to update this in the future, and they showed that in the keynote very quickly. Now music gets an update as well. So we'll go to music. And one thing, if you haven't noticed already, let's see, it says the music volume's turned way down, and of course it is because I'm doing this video. And if you haven't noticed already, they've changed the corners on these icons, and I'm not sure I'm a big fan. I'm sure I'll get used to it, but they've changed that. There's now a new Listen Now section, which is really nice. They've just added that. And then also they've improved search. So they haven't said specifically, you used to be able to search lyrics, but maybe we want to search for, I guess, Halvey here. And so you'll see they've improved it, I guess, with albums that I have already and some other things. So I haven't seen exactly how it's been improved, but they say that it has been improved, and you have the new Listen Now section. Now, Siri has been updated as well, and it doesn't get a new interface for macOS, but it has updated intelligence, just like it does on iOS, so updated knowledge. So we can ask it different things such as, how do hybrid cars work? And it says, here's what I found, and it gives more answers that are relevant to what you're saying. The other example they give is, what causes seasons? And it says, web answer, the seasons are caused by the tilt of the Earth's rotational axis, and it gives a more intelligent answer than what you might get before. So it's just updated to basically match iOS 14. Now Maps gets a redesign as well. So let's go ahead and find Maps here. And you'll see it now has look around, favorites and guides, and Siri suggestions. And so if we click continue, and so Maps has been redesigned with a new toolbar as well, and we also have 3D and look around in certain cities. So let's go to New York City, and maybe we'll just go to JFK Airport, and we now have new 3D options. And then in certain areas, we have flyover. So if I pinch out here and maybe go to, see if we can get in far enough to Lower Manhattan, but maybe we want to go to this part right here, and we want to look around. So let's click on look around, and now we can look around. So just like we have on Google Maps, we now have this here, and it works pretty seamlessly. If we want to go down the street, we can just drive down the street. So it's pretty nice, simple and straightforward, and it's nice to see it updated. There's also indoor maps for things like malls and everything else. So if it has an indoor map, it will be available and you'll be able to see it more clearly. So you can choose upper level, lower level. There isn't really a lower level at that mall, not too much, but you can go right in here and get maps within the mall. So that's updated for many different places. Now we also have the option to create a guide. So if we click on the plus here, we can create a new guide. You'll see there's a guide over here. And then if we click on it, it takes a moment, and we right click and we can add a new place. So we can search for whatever we'd like. So maybe we want to add the mall, I suppose. And now we've got a guide for the mall. So we'll cancel that, go to the mall, and we've got a guide. So maybe we want to go on a trip, select places we want to go, we'll be able to do that. So those are the new updates in Maps. Now Messages gets an update as well. If I go to Messages, you'll see I have a group here, and I showed this on iOS 14 with Brandon and Miguel. So in the group, I can right click, I can pin Brandon and Miguel, pin them at the top, it gives them importance, and then if I go into this, I can right click or option click, and then open conversation in a separate window, go to details, and under details, we can change the group name and photo. We can add a member, send my current location, and the group photo option doesn't seem to be working right now on Mac, so it is a little bit buggy. But as you can see here, Miguel replied with a thumbs up, and it's got a reply directly to me. That's what this bracket is. So I can say Miguel and click on it. And select Miguel and then say, thanks, hit reply, and now he gets that reply and only he gets that reply instead of Brandon getting both. And so you have those nice options within Messages on the Mac now. So everything you had, you'll see he updated his contact, will update, and everything we had before that's in iOS is now here. So it's super nice that they've got that. Message effects, a redesigned photo picker, Memoji, and pin conversations. Now search gets an update as well. So if I hit Command space, you can search for whatever you'd like, a conversation, just like I had before, or maybe we could search for a photo of iOS 14, and you'll see a release, a photo, it will search the web, or you can have it search within documents. It's faster, it's redesigned, and maybe I'm looking for iPad OS 14. It's been redesigned to search all throughout the OS. Now, I expect this will get better as time goes on. Now, privacy gets an update as well. So the first place they've updated privacy is in the App Store. So if I go in the App Store, I think what they're going to update in the future isn't here yet, but what it will do is give you more information about the privacy of each app and how it's using your privacy. So for example, if we go to Discover, maybe we want to check out a new app. Maybe we'll just pick something random here. Maybe we'll pick BB Edit. It's been around a long time, and if you want to know how it's using your privacy, you'll see it just says privacy policy. But in the future, it will not bring you to a web link, but instead it will actually bring you to a little pop-up that's similar to a nutrition fact that you get on a box of cereal or maybe something you bought at a grocery store. So it'll have a privacy tag that shows you everything that they're collecting or not collecting. BB Edit, you can just click on now, but every app has to do that in the future, so they'll all have information for those tags. Also within the App Store, they've updated friend recommendations, so you can follow someone. I don't see it here on this version, but I did see it on iOS, so maybe they'll add it in the future. But you'll be able to follow someone. They can follow you back, see what you're doing. You'll have achievements and things like that. So we should have all of those in the future. Now, FaceTime gets an update that allows for sign language prominence. So if someone's signing while you're in a group chat, it will pop them up on the screen, the same as it would do if you were talking. And then Reminders gets an update as well. So if we go into Reminders, there's a couple new updates that will allow you to assign reminders. You can have smart suggestions for dates and reminders. You can personalize a reminder with emoji, and there's improved search. So let's create a new reminder here. And let's see, work on the macOS Big Sur video. And we'll select tomorrow. And then we can update this if we go into I and add a time, add a location. When messaging a person, we have URL, add an image. Of course, we have pretty much what we had before, but we should be able to assign an emoji to this particular update, assign it to a family member, and they've added some additional small features as well, especially search should be improved. Now, Voice Memos gets an update as well, and it will have enhancements for things like folders. So if you want to create a folder, you can create a folder now, and voice recording. Now we have a folder and we can drag and drop in there. We can also have favorites, smart folders, and there's enhanced recording to help eliminate background noise. And if I hit record, you'll see it will record simply, just like you would expect. We'll hit done, and then I can sort that into a folder if I'd like. So put that into voice recordings, for example. And now it's there. So just a few small updates with Voice Memos. Now there's also some updates to weather, although I don't see this yet. I'm not sure if they'll have a separate app, but right now it's a widget just like the iPhone, and it will give you things like next hour precipitation, severe weather reports, and it will show significant shifts in weather patterns. So I don't see that yet, but it should be there in the future. Within Notes, there's a few enhancements as well. So if I go to Notes, and you'll see this is a new note, we have enhanced search. We also have additional style options here. They're more quick to access now. So italics and underline. And so also we can collapse our pinned notes pretty simply. And then also we have better search as well. So not a huge enhancement, but it's redesigned just like everything else. Now they've updated privacy to let you know more information when an app is trying to use not only your speakers, but your microphone, your camera, or files, or anything else. So you have the same controls you did before, but there's enhanced notifications. And so that's been updated. I noticed that the first time I opened some of these apps, it would pop up and ask me if it could use the camera or if it could use my disk or anything else. So it's nice that it's in there. Also, there has not been significant updates to Keychain other than it actually monitors for your passwords to make sure they're not compromised. So within Keychain, if you have a bunch of passwords in here, I normally do, but they're not here right now, and the icon actually changed from a new one to this old one, so maybe they'll update it in the future, but right now it's not doing that, but it will update you and let you know if something's compromised your password. Now, as far as software updates are concerned, they've updated them as well to allow them to be faster, start in the background, and complete much faster, similar to what we have with iOS. So you'll see here's details, and you can restore the defaults if you don't want the beta. Now there's a couple more updates that you can't really see. One of them is AirPods. They should switch immediately between Mac, iOS, and iPad OS without a problem seamlessly. Now if we go into Safari, you can see here's some of the new international features. So new bilingual dictionaries, so French, German, Indonesian English, Japanese simplified Chinese, and Polish English. 20 new fonts for India, enhanced predictive input for Chinese and Japanese, and also localized message effects in messages for India. So one of 23 India local languages. You have a couple different additions there. Now also, if you're creating an app using Catalyst, it's been optimized to fully utilize native resolutions, and there's powerful new menu and keyboard APIs and updated graphics and things. So that is all of the major features and some extras within macOS Big Sur. I'm really excited to see how this runs in a few months when it's more complete, but so far it's great. And of course, Apple's transitioning to ARM or their own chipset, and that will be really exciting in the future as well. Let me know what you think about these icons and the updates in the comments below. And if you have any other questions or comments, let me know there as well. If you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, I'll link this and an iPhone-derived version as well in the description below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.